All right, make sure that the recording is going. Welcome everyone. Thank you for taking the time this morning coming to the Teaching and Learning Conference. This is session 2, titled Exploring Effective Pre-K and Kindergarten Learning Tools with Discovery Education. Our presenter will be Jennifer Moss. Please utilize the chat if you have any questions or comments. We'll try to get to as many of them as we possibly can in the chat, and I'll do this several times throughout the presentation. I am going to put the link to the attendance, so make sure that you are filling out the attendance form, especially if you are using this to gain professional learning hours or credit for your attendance. I'm also going to cut and paste really quick the title of this session and put that into the chat, so that way you have it for your attendance records. And with that, I am going to turn the time over to our wonderful presenter, Jennifer Moss.
Well, thank you. I'm really happy to see everyone today. I hope your day is going well and that some great learning is already taking place. As Mandy said, this is really focusing on pre-K and kindergarten, so our wonderful early learners, and how to best support them with literacy. So here we go on our adventure. Starting with who I am. So I am Jen Moss. I work with Discovery Education. I am the Nevada Partnership Manager. We are going into year 4 of our statewide partnership. So really wonderful to be supporting my fellow Nevada educators. I have worked in Clark County for about 20 years as an educator. So just recently came out of the classroom, but it is amazing to still be so connected with my Nevada friends. And here we have our email. So anything that comes up along the way, any questions that you're having, really anything Discovery Ed related, whether it's like, hey, I want a classroom visit, or I would love more professional learning, you just email me and I'm here to make those things happen for you. So my email is up on the screen. I will also put it in our chat later on today. But really, when I say email me, I mean it. I'm not just saying it. So just putting that out there. And again, just really a pleasure to be able to work with educators across the state. Our agenda for today, we're going to talk through, of course, our session overview, navigating the platform. Definitely want to make sure that we're all feeling good there. And then we are really going to dig into those literacy resources for primary. And then, of course, our resource guide. You can't walk away without a resource guide. And you will also get a copy of the entire presentation. So all of those things happening today. There are quite a few, just like a little heads up, there are quite a few QR codes. If you are unable to capture those QR codes for whatever reason, you can email me and I'll send you all of these resources, through an email. So if that's easier, just email me and we'll make it happen. So just want to put that out there in case QR codes are not your thing. So let's talk about that session overview. So there are a few learning targets for today. One of them, a big one, is of course increasing your confidence as a user in being able to navigate the platform, find what you need, and then of course share that information. We are also going to talk about highlighting those easy to use primary literacy resources. I have some great things to show you today by way of all of our ready to use activities, interactives. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff along the way. And then of course our tying that in with all of the great features within Discovery, the tools that we have, and the instructional activities that I will share with you as well. So that is our session overview. And now we're going to talk about getting in, because that's important. So definitely want to make sure that accessing the platform is easy for you. There are a few ways that you can get there. One of them is going to ClassLink. You can also use Clever. I'm sorry that's not showing on the slide, but Clever or ClassLink, amazing. Those are also the same ways that your students will be able to get in. And then you'll see here that you can also go to discoveryeducation.com. And there you will find all of the different ways of signing in. So we've got ClassLink, we've got Clever, we've got Microsoft, Google, and then of course, search for your school. So one of those ways, I'm sure, is going to get you right in. So I will give you a moment, and if you are having any type of connection, problems or any challenges along the way, you can always email me and we'll make sure that we iron out any of those login things that are happening. So I'll give you a moment there, and then we'll be diving into the platform together. Thank you, Alyssa, for putting that in our chat. That's helpful. Appreciate that. Oh no, I was double booked. I hope not. I will just on that note, I will be putting on sessions throughout the day. So if I get to see you again today, that's amazing. I hope so. Oh my goodness. Linda, I didn't know that. In room 2, I didn't even see that one. So it's same time, same place. Okay, well, we're here for literacy, and we'll have to figure that out. Somehow, yes, clone myself. We can make that happen, right? So here we go. We're going to dive into the platform together, and here we are going in. So this is, and I will put a link to this just in case some of you are coming in a little bit later, because I'm only in one of my sessions right now. Sorry. But there is a link to where I am within the platform. Hopefully that takes you right to where you need to be. And I'm so sorry that some of you were in one room and I'm in this one and all that. But here we are, we have our channels laid out here. And I just want to say here that you can edit your entire home layout. So this is something that I really love, because I think it's important when you go to your homepage to be able to find exactly what you're looking for, and as quickly as possible. So here you can click and drag any of these areas that you want moved. So I love having my channels and my educator supports up at the top. Just want to put that out there if that's something that fits you best. And then I am going to talk about some of the updates. We haven't had too many back to school updates, but one of the biggest ones, if you've been in Discovery before, you probably remember the buttons that go across the top. And you probably noticed that they're not there anymore. So I do want to talk about how we're going to navigate today. Over on the left side, you'll see that little hamburger menu. And inside of the hamburger menu, you are able to dig in. I do see the question. Here's the password. There we go. That's for the generic login. Any of you using that Nevada teacher login, that is helpful. And it is lowercase, just want to put that out there. Oh my goodness. Sherry, I'm glad you told me. I don't know how I missed that. When I pulled up all of my sessions, this is the one that popped up. But yeah, we can do social studies another time. I love that too. Or I don't know, maybe we'll find a creative way to make that happen today. But here we are. Our global navigation, as I mentioned, you have your classrooms here. And then of course we have our explore button, and we have our browse standards. So lots of great stuff going on there. And then of course our different tools. These are other things that you might want to dig into as you get more familiar with Discovery Ed. So you've got your content, you've got quiz, you've got studio, and you have your assessment builder. Those are all going to be, by the way, virtual statewide professional learning sessions that I do. And with all of the professional learning that goes along with Discovery Education, it is never going to be at any cost for teachers. That is all covered by the partnership. So please, join those sessions freely when you see them pop up. Would love to see you there. And I do offer certification for you attending those sessions and participating. And then finally, we have our educator supports. I will be diving into these areas, so we'll come back to a lot of this. And then, of course, we have my classrooms up here. And with my classrooms, I do just want to say here that there's a few areas. So the one that we're seeing right now is all assignments. This is everything that has ever gone out to students through the platform. So that'll kind of be the automatic place it takes you. Up top, you have your classrooms. And with your classrooms, I just want to say here that you might see some old classes while you're here. If you are seeing older classes, you can come over to the 3-dot menu and select archive this class, and it will pull those classes right out. So if you're seeing too many things, that's a great way to kind of whittle it down and make sure that you're not overwhelmed by the amount of classes that you're seeing. This is a good time to say too, that if you push a button on Discovery, there is a way to undo it. So I want you to feel safe and kind of exploring and just kind of learning. I don't want you to be afraid to push buttons. So push those buttons, and then I can always show you how to undo anything that you want undone. Here we have our students, and I want to show you just a fun little thing here. So with the students that you have in Discovery, you do have a way here to sign in as a student. I always think that's fun. Thinking back to my classroom days, it was always so great to see how they were seeing things, because we know that sometimes that teacher experience looks different than the student experience. So here is what the student experience looks like. We're just going to look here kind of briefly. If this student had an outstanding assignment, it would be right here. It would show them the due date. It would show them what class it's for. Since this student does not have any outstanding assignments, you'll see that they have the option to explore, they have the option to search, and they have the option to use Studio. We will talk about Studio a little bit more today, but it is an amazing way to create content both on the teacher and student side. So just want to let you know, this is what the student experience looks like. I would be happy to dive more into that student experience with you if you want to set up some time with me, or we could even make a whole session out of it. When you are done being a student, you can come here and you are able to quit your impersonation here. So when you're done, just say, I want out, and you can go right back to your teacher experience. Mandy, seeing your question, I have students in my student area who are not in your class. Are they former students, Mandy? Just curious. Or just like, no. Huh. Mandy, let's do this. If you that's so strange. If you will email me, we can look further into that and see why they're there. Likely they've come in through Clever somehow. And we can figure out how to resync and maybe get some of those out, just so that you're, really dealing with your current classes. I have former students. Yes, you can go ahead and edit those, Gail. Good question. And Mandy, I'll make sure that you have my email. If you didn't grab it already, I'll make sure that you get it. Same thing. Yeah, anything that's weird, you can email me if you want to hop on like a one-on-one call. I'm happy to do that. But please, like, if they're no longer your student, you can feel pretty good about taking them out if you want to. If it's a lot of kids, we might just want to look at like resyncing those kids and seeing if that works best. I'm glad you're telling me, because I haven't had that yet. So that's good. So here we are again, back at our homepage. Oh, it doesn't let you remove them. Good to know. Okay. So yeah, shoot me an email, Catherine, and we'll look a little deeper into what's going on there. Some of the schools we've just had to do like a quick resync and it's been fine. Glad you told me. So we talked about my classrooms, and I'm seeing the great questions. Are there other questions that are coming up for you outside of seeing kiddos that either are no longer in your class or kiddos that you're not even sure who they are? You know, we can dive into all that, but anything else around classrooms that I can help with? All right, we'll dig into those challenges for sure. Another great place I want to show you that is linked here in our global navigation. If you are new to Discovery, this is a great place to start. So I just want to put this out there. Up top here, you have some amazing buttons. So we're going to dive into those buttons for a moment here. One of them is our instructional activity channel. So the instructional activity channel, what's special about this is that it is all ready to use lessons. So I'm going to put a link to this in our chat if you want to dive into this with me. Again, this is the instructional activities. And one of the coolest things that lives here is the activity calendar. And we do come out with a new activity calendar every month. This one is combining August and September, but you'll see one come out for October that is all October. And with this, you have activities for every day of the week that you might want to try out. And if you don't want to try it out that day, you can save it for another day. But what's great about this is that every single one of these is here and you can use it with students right away. You can project it, you can put it out to them, you know, however you want to share these resources. And I will talk more about that in a minute, but just a great resource in terms of kind of being able to shop different resources for your classroom. So this is the activity calendar. I will put a link to this one directly in our chat. That is a fun one to know about. And then, you know, really thinking about literacy, we've got some great stuff here. So one new thing that we've added to the platform, we already had this great partnership with Sesame Learning, but now we've brought in Electric Company. So here we have some great lessons that you can dig into. And what is awesome about this is that it's going to take you through an entire lesson with videos, with great graphics. And it's going to be such an awesome experience for kiddos. They're going to have fun with the music, but at the same time, you know, really be taking in the information. I love that it rhymes. I love anything rhyming. That's always fun. So these are just some great activities that you might want to look into. Again, all of these support literacy and are just super helpful because you don't have to create it. But with anything that you do see, you do have a way of making a copy of these things and then modifying them. So just want to put that out there as well. You'll see this other amazing thing, our Creating Classroom Culture Choice Board. Since we are still, you know, in those beginning stages of school, this is actually something that you can come back to throughout the year, but just such a great way to get to know your kids. Also, I love the mood meter. This is probably my favorite part of the whole board because this you can use every day if you needed to. So this Classroom Culture Choice Board, I will put a link to in our chat as well. And with any of these great resources that you're coming across, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I really want to make sure I can save that, you'll notice that with these activities, you see a 3-dot menu. You have 2 different ways of saving. So the one that I'm going to recommend if you are newer to Discovery is just to use your quick list here. So if I add this to my quick list, it is going to populate here on my profile panel. It's all connected. There's my Classroom Culture Choice Board. So it's sitting there waiting for me whenever I need it. Another thing I'm going to call out about the quick list is that this is an amazing place to line up all the resources that you want to use to support your classroom instruction throughout the course of a week. So, let's say there's a couple of videos, ready to use lessons that you want to pop in there and have quick access to. This is a great place to put them because you simply bring it up, project it, put it out, whatever it is that you want to do. But just an amazing way to check in with kids and just make sure that you have those at your fingertips. And then as we go through, this is another really great thing. And again, supporting literacy, writing, we have these fix-its. And these are so much fun. We have set up these, essentially they're choice boards for teachers, but they focus in, of course, here we're looking at, different types of punctuation. So you can pop into these different activities. And again, just work your way through it with students. You have some fun questions that you can talk with them about. There's a great video here. And then you have some things where you can actually practice using that punctuation. So that's another fun one to remember. And you'll see several of these just throughout our lessons. You're going to see a lot of lessons and a lot of channels, but you have all of your subject areas covered here. I'm going to pop down to ELA because you'll see a lot more of those fix-its living here. We have this super fun channel, the Nom Nom Shapes. So I have to call this one out as well because there is a great story that goes with it. And then, of course, different activities that you can pair with it and ways of kind of tying in different parts of your curriculum. So that's a fun one to call out here. So this is all within our instructional activity channel. And I talked about the 3-dot menu here. You can add to your quick list. When you're feeling ready to play around with it, you can play with creating your own studio assignments with these resources. And then you also have the ability here to assign. So I want to kind of call out the difference here between assigning and sharing. If you choose assign, it will keep that assignment on the Discovery Education platform. So, I'm not sure how often you're assigning things to your pre-Ks and kinders, but I just want you to know that this is what that process looks like in case there are things you want them working on at home. They are able to access Discovery at home as well. So this is what your assignment flow looks like. It'll pop up with an activity name, and then you have your instructions. You can modify either of those elements. And then when you click next, this is where we can talk about how this is also a differentiation tool. So if I click my Test A class, and then I select students here, it kind of automatically will select all of your students, but if you only wanted it to go out to one student, you can select that one student that you want to have the extra practice, and then you can decide if you want this to go out in real time or if you want to schedule it ahead of time. So that is how our assignment flows. And again, this is if you want to assign within the platform. If you want to take that same assignment and just share it, maybe in an email or maybe in an LMS, you can grab a link to it here. Maybe a parent is looking for a resource. You can grab a couple of these resources and send them over in an email by copying the link here. Or if you have an LMS system that you're using to track everything, you can use your Google Classroom connection here or your Canvas connection. So just some ideas there on how you can get these great things out to students. I'm going to pause. I just want to make sure I check in, and are there questions coming up? Anything that you want to know more about as we're looking through these ready to use lessons and just about Discovery in general? All right, so far so good. We're looking okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and carry forward here. The chat is open. If you do have questions coming up, just let me know. And I do want to stay here for a moment. There is something within Studio that I want you to know about, because I think this is very helpful, especially in talking about literacy. So within any of the ready-to-use Studio assignments, you have access to something called Immersive Reader. So I'm going to take this particular slide and I'm going to click Immersive Reader. And now all of the text has been pulled from that slide. And if I wanted this read out loud, I can push play here and it's going to read to me all.
Use the Creating Classroom Culture choice board.
I have it sped up a little bit, but you'll notice here that you have the ability. I've got mine on 1.5, but you can move this to where you want it to be. You can also go from a male voice to a female voice. And then this is where it gets even better. You have something called reading preferences. In the reading preferences, you have multiple languages that you can take a look at. So if you've got students in your room that you really want to make sure that you are including, you are able to really pull them in and make sure that they are experiencing those same learning experiences as their peers are by putting these things in their language. So I'm going to leave mine on Spanish. And I'm going to go ahead and translate this whole document. And now when I push play,
Use la Junta de Elección de Cultura de
we're going
Creación
to
de
hear it in the language that we've chosen. Yes, Sherry. So yes, this is amazing for your EL students. Also amazing for your students that need extra supports. If they, need to have directions read to them, maybe a day where your voice is not working so great, this is a tool that you're able to use. So just want to put this out there. You do have a tool within Discovery. And while this is, what we're looking at here is a ready to use lesson, you can create your own lesson. So if you have text that you want to put in, if you have questions, maybe a quiz that you want to put together, you can make those in Studio as well. Linda, your question. So I'm just going to scroll through. There are a lot. So, I mean, someone in my last session was very excited about Russian. I've had some people that wanted to dig into what does the Chinese sound like. So there are lots of different dialects, and really just so many choices here. So Linda, lots of great stuff. So I won't go through all of them, but you have many, many, many choices. Yes, hashtag, I love it. So yeah, definitely want to put that out there. Oh, and I see a question, Linda, I want to help you out with your question here. So here is, if anyone needs that general Nevada teacher login, it is case sensitive. I'm doing it right now, just in case you're having trouble. If you don't have students rostered to you, sometimes it does not automatically create an account. So there it is. It's NV teacher. I think that just went to Linda. Let me make sure that I am sharing this with everyone if you need in. I do just want to say that you will not be able, with that general Nevada teacher login, you will not be able to see any students. But you can see all of the different resources. So just want to put that out there. So here it comes. I'm putting this to everyone in case you are unable to see what I'm talking about here. There we go. And like I said, it's all case sensitive there. So don't get frustrated. So here we go. So yeah, definitely wanted to show you that immersive reader function. I think that is, a really amazing part of Discovery. There's a lot of amazing parts, but I think that one is just a great way to make sure that you're including everyone and really reaching as many students as possible. All right, so coming back out of here, I do just want to say that you can make sure that you're saving any channels that you come across by clicking on your bookmark. That'll put them on your homepage, and again, just makes it easier to find your way back to those great resources. And I'm going to leave the instructional activity channel. I'm going to go back to my Explorer. And I do want to show you our quiz library. So here, again, you can come through, you can filter, you can look for different subjects here, but you have ready to use quizzes that you can either assign traditionally, or you can use these as live activities. We have some that are video quizzes, some that are standard quizzes. But again, if you're overwhelmed by the amount of quizzes that you see, you can look at the top 20, or you can look at those featured quizzes to really, just get a nice overlook. And then I'm going to come back out of here again. And now I want to talk about interactives. I'm curious, any of you on the call, if you've used an interactive before, can you give me a 1 in the chat? If you don't know about them, I'm very excited to show you. All right, so here we go. We're under our Explore tab. So we looked at the ready to use, we looked at quiz. Now we're gonna pop into that best of interactive channel. And I will share this with you in our chat. Here it is. So our interactives is really just a way of saying that we have some gamified learning within the platform. So we have here science interactives, we have social studies, we have math, we have our science interactives in Spanish, but what we're really going to dig into today are the English language arts interactives. So here, kind of starting us off, we have a section called Academics. And this is by far the most popular type of interactive that we have on the platform. And the reason why is that students can actually play against each other with academics. So let's say in your classroom, you're doing a small group activity, or maybe you've decided that you want kids to do a rotation model, but this could be one of your stations. So they can come in and they can be working on one of these different skill builders here. So some of these focus on word recognition, some of them focus on spelling. There are a lot of different elements here. And then as we go down, you'll notice that we have other types of literacy that we address here. We have sorting sounds. We also have blending sounds, and it just builds and builds. So some really great interactives here. Again, just thinking about gamified learning, about engaging students. This is such a wonderful way to pull all of that together. And then it really just grows one on top of the other. The design of pirate character is really fun. I think that could be a great time in a classroom. Rhyming words, rhyming snap. These are games that I have actually played on my own. They're that much fun. So just putting that out there. It's pretty fun, not just for kids, but also for teachers. And this is just a wonderful way to make sure that you are, again, just engaging your students and thinking about the different supports that you're able to pull in. And all of this ties in with literacy. So again, if you're seeing this, so you want to put this in your channels, just make sure that you fill in that bookmark, and that way you'll be able to come back to it later. So with our interactives, you're also able to assign these, share them, all those same functions that we talked about before. All right, so I'm going to take us back now. We've looked at some really great sections here. The next part that I really want to dive into is how you can pull up things related to literacy and reading. So here we are at our search bar. So I'm going to type into the search bar, I'll put literacy, and I'm just going to push enter. And here we are, we now have all of these great literacy resources that pop up. Now, there are ways to make this a smaller group of resources. So one of them is by going through and filtering by subject. So just by doing that, we've really narrowed down our resources. And now I want to pull in just my pre-K through 2. So now the search I'm pulling is really specific to pre-K through 2. And then if I wanted to get even more specific, maybe I just want to look at some channels. I can click into that channels and it's going to pull in some of the great channels that I definitely want to be able to share with you. So we've already taken a look at the ELA interactives. We're going to go into literacy in just a minute, but I do want to show you our Sesame Learning channel. I'm going to put a link to this in our chat because there are a lot of great things that you'll want to know about here. And it breaks it down. So the one that we're really going to focus on is letter time and sounds and letters. But we also have number world, celebrations, coming together, and feelings time. So if you're looking for brain breaks, feelings time is the place to be. I definitely want you to know about that. And then I'm going to take us back up here, and I just want to take us into letter time first. So inside of letter time, what you see here is our lesson plans and our videos. All of that is laid out here. I will pull up a lesson plan just so you can see what that entails. And these are all downloadable, printable, all the things. So here you have a really great explanation. You have the learning focus, and then it will sometimes tie in like a word of the day. So it really brings in like all of those different pieces, personalized learning, learning through play. And this is just really hitting the spot for like the pre-K through 2 area, or pre-K through K, I should say. So here we are with one of our lessons. And then when I come back out, I have a section of videos. So essentially you take one of those lesson plans and then you can pair it with one of the videos, and it just makes for a really great lesson. So here we are, there's our letter A. And for any of you that are, Sesame Street fans like myself, this is very exciting for adults too. Brings back some great memories. And then you'll see with our videos, you have transcripts available here. It's also going to show you related resources. So sometimes it's worth, scrolling all the way through just to see what related things it's bringing in. So some good stuff going on there. And this is all within the letter time channel in Sesame Learning. And then I also wanted to show you some of our newer content. So we have connected now our electric company. So this is all about sounds and letters. And very similar here, except now it's breaking down high use, mid use, lower use, and gives us some great learning sequences here. So really is packing in a lot of good information and some related resources, but really all of those great videos are going to make it so much more fun, and it has all the PDF activities connected there. So that is a newer channel. I will share this with you in our chat in case you want to dig in a little bit deeper there. And I'm going to take a pause. I just want to check in. What are you excited about so far? Are you excited about interactives, Sesame Learning? What is kind of catching your eye? Love it. Yay, Sesame. Exciting stuff. Interactives. Yeah, I think interactives is actually one of like the top things happening in Nevada. It's all the rage. Very cool. I love it. Oh, good, good, good. And if I can assist in any way, or if you want to dig deeper into any of the interactives, I'm really happy to do that with you. Read aloud. Yes. Just excited. Oh, good. Oh, I'm so happy. Karen, that's wonderful. I'm happy to hear. Okay. So I have more for you. We're not done. So that is just looking at some of the channels here. Yes, great ideas for small groups. I agree. I promised that we would go into that literacy channel, and I did not forget. So I'm taking us back. So this literacy channel, I'm going to give you a link to, because there is a lot of goodness going on in here. Linda, great question. Yes. So all Nevada districts and schools have access. The partnership is funded by NDE and Nevada Gold Mines. And we're going into year 4, Linda, very exciting. And I do want to say here that as far as like which schools have it, really all the public schools, any of the public charters, anything, you know, connected to NDE is going to have that access. Yeah, so woohoo. Exciting stuff. And you know, we hope to stick around and just keep supporting. I think just working with Nevada educators and seeing excitement like we are in the chat right now is so amazing, gives me life. So this literacy channel, did I give you a link yet? No, I got so excited and carried away. I'm not sure I gave you a link. So let me make sure you get this. And here it comes. There it is. So this is the literacy channel. I am dialed in right now to K5. And again, if this is a channel I want to save, I can click on that bookmark, make sure it saves. And then down below, you have a lot of good stuff going on here. You are able to look at video segments. You're able to pull in images. Of course, you have your full videos happening here. So a lot of good stuff going on, and then it gives you that more resources. So there are other things that you can dig into and pull up here. Of course, it will relate back to writing and all that good stuff. And then one other search that I want to do with you is alternative to typing in literacy, we can also type in reading. And reading is going to pull up a separate set of resources. So we're still dialed in to ELA and pre-K through 2. Maybe now I want to pull in, again, just those channels. And you'll see here that we have some great channels. I will actually share this search with you so that you're able to see all the same things. Oops, there we go. So you'll have access here. We have our classic reading rainbow. We can never take that away. And then we have our reading comprehension. Decoding has been a really popular area for early literacy. And then of course, word development, primary resources. And I'm going to take us into Fable Cottage here. So Fable Cottage, this is really cool because it gives you a video, it gives you a reading passage, and you have audio. So all of those things connected here. And you have some of those classics, Chicken Little, Rapunzel, Snow White, Bird and the Whale. So some really fun stories that you're able to pull in and really, you know, use those for your instruction and to increase your student engagement. So lots of good stuff to kind of go through and learn about here. I'm going to pull up one of our reading passages for you. So you'll see here with the reading passage that you have access to Doc Reader. And that's a really fun thing here because that, again, will give you the power to have this read out. You have different views that you're able to take here. So if you want to take out images, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to click listen.
The FableCottage.com presents Chicken Little. Let me tell you a story about a chicken.
So again, if your voice is not up to par, maybe you can't read a whole story, we got you covered. I know that my days as a teacher, there were some days my voice just couldn't stay with me. So really nice to be able to share that. And then as I mentioned, if you come down further, it will give you some of those great connected resources to what you're into. So just wanted to highlight that channel. And we'll move forward here. This one, I would be failing you if I did not share Books. If you have used Books before, you know how awesome it is. That picture that I had on my title slide, it comes from Books. So in thinking about visually appealing materials, this is like top. It's so amazing. Oh, I'm so glad, Francis, you get it. You get it. So here we are, we have a whole video library here. These are like the coolest stories. I'm just going to pop into this one so you can see what it looks like and how it works. So you can see there, of course, you've got the great colors happening. I think, you know, as an adult, if I'm enjoying looking at this, I think kids are going to love it too. So back a little bit, I also want to share here that we have instructional activities that you can pair with these videos. So we've created some specific, you know, full lessons that you're able to incorporate here. And again, all of these are made in studio, so they're going to have that immersive reader brought in. And these are going to be full activities, once again, where there's a video, an activity that they can work on. And these are things that you can project if you want to, or share out with students, whatever's best. And one other thing are these activity sheets. So here, I will pull up this one. Here we go, just to give you an idea. So we have our activity sheet here. It'll talk about the actual story itself, gives you some background, tells you about the text structure. And then as we go through the different pages here, you've got questions that you can bring in. One of my favorites is down a little bit. You have some coloring pages that go along with the stories. And then you've got some great activities where the kids, you know, it's their turn. They can draw a picture of themselves and talk about what they want people to see when they look at you. So it's just some really amazing activities connected with these beautiful stories. So I want to make sure that you know about the books channel, because again, that would be a huge fail on my part to not tell you about that. I think, you know, if I were teaching pre-K through 2, that would be definitely top of mind. I just think that they are beautiful stories and so engaging. For some reason, I'm stuck. There we go. Like it's not taking me out. And then we have these virtual read aloud events. So these are some that have taken place. So in talking about Read Across America, Earth Day, we've got some great stuff. And then as those events come up, I'll be sharing them out on social media. Any of the great virtual field trips, I try to make sure that teachers know about those. And these kind of go along in that same category. The virtual read alouds, I think, are equally fun and amazing. So I'll be sharing those throughout the year. So that is books, and I want to make sure I share this with you. So here's a link to the books channel, and you have all those great tabs that you can dig into a little bit further. All right, so yes, I definitely want you to remember books. We haven't talked about Weston Woods yet. This is another great resource. And this one, I know we were talking earlier about making sure that we're reaching our EL students. These are videos that are also in additional languages. So we've got Spanish going on in here, French happening, Chinese, you know, so again, just really making sure that we are reaching as many students as possible. So you've got the videos that exist here, and then you have the audiobooks as well. So this is another great channel to share with you. And you'll be getting a copy of the presentation, but I also just want you to have these links along the way. So if it's too much for now, ignore them. You'll get them all later. But this was very, you know, important to me that I shared this with you, because I think that, you know, we're really thinking about all of our diverse learners and our, you know, EL students. We want to make sure that they are experiencing all these amazing things too. We talked about Fable Cottage. That's where you have the video, you have the text, and you have the audiobooks. The books channel, yes. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that one. I'm not the only one that loves it. There are others. That makes me happy. And then we did talk about the word development channel. That came up in our reading search. So I just want to make sure that you know that this is here. Again, a great resource. I'm going to pull up a full video here and show you some things. So with a lot of our videos, you'll notice that you're able to download them. So if you have existing presentations that you want to pop these videos into, you are more than welcome to do that. You also have transcripts that you're able to play around with. So, you know, if students want to come back and look at specific words, or if they are, you know, looking at, you know, want to translate something, this is a great tool to be able to use here. And then this is all within the Word development channel. I will give you a link to that in our chat. And then we have our reading comprehension channel. Can't forget that one. Again, this is wonderful. Has some great songs embedded in here. We've got a consonant blend song. So I think that's another really fun part about Discovery, is that there are so many different types of resources that you're going to come across. So if you're tired of videos, maybe you just want to, you know, put some great images in some of your existing presentations, or you want to work a song in, we are good for all of that. And again, just, you know, here to support all the great stuff that you're already doing. So definitely want you to know about that comprehension channel. And then we've talked our way through those ELA interactives, but just want to keep those in your mind. And then we've talked about the Sounds and Letters channel, audiobooks. We have a whole channel dedicated to audiobooks. And then, of course, our Sesame Learning Letter Time. And with that, I'm also going to share these Developing Literacy. This is a great resource here. I'm going to put this link. So this connects with some of our instructional strategies that you can work into your lessons. And it breaks it down by skill. So you have your background knowledge, you have your developing, you know, vocabulary, all these great things that you're able to pull in different types of instructional strategies for. I'll actually be doing a whole instructional strategy professional learning statewide in October. So I'm going to offer on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can pick any one of the sessions to attend, but we'll be doing a deep dive into all these great instructional strategies. And then this is another one that I want you to know about. We have these Discovering Literacy resources. This is from Dollar General, one of our other great corporate partnerships. And what you'll find here are different literacy approaches, learning resources, and then it goes in by different subjects. So if you're looking for support in phonics, you can come in and click into phonics, and it will give you some great activities as well as a little bit of professional learning added in. And now I want to pause. I want to make sure that you get this resource guide. I'm just going to grab a quick link to it here and drop it in our chat. And all of these are hyperlinked. I have some great activities that I've connected here, the nom shapes, and some of our great books lessons, and then all those kind of top channels that you might want some quick access to. And now we've made it to our final steps here. I do want to share with you a couple of links. One of them is going to be a raffle. There's a raffle form. So I'm going to drop that with my email in the chat right now. So that's one thing for you. And then I do have a check-in link and a survey link for you as well. I know that you have a lot of links coming your way, so just whatever you can get done is wonderful. I don't want to overwhelm you too much with links and stuff. So here we go. I want to make sure that I update a couple of things here for you. All right. There. All right, here comes check-in and survey. Oh, I'm so glad, Teresa. I'm glad those links are helpful. And if there's anything that we talked about today and it just kind of slips your mind, or you need to connect with me, you do have my email and I encourage you to use it. And I know some of you had questions about your classrooms and the students that you're seeing. I want to make sure that we, address all of that good stuff as well. And then I have a couple of other extra fun things here. One of them is an invitation to join our Discovery Educator Network. So that is just an opportunity for you to connect with other educators, get some extra support with Discovery Education. So it's just going to be a good way to learn more, and it will give you access to some great workshops. All of those are, things where you can earn certificates. You can also earn certificates by coming to my professional learning sessions that I'm doing across the state. So anything that I can help you out with there, please let me know. But I've given you a link if you want to go ahead and sign up to be a part of our DEN network. It doesn't cost anything. It's not a heavy lift. Like I said, it's more support than anything. And then the final link I gave you is a link to our asynchronous Canvas course. If you, prefer to learn that way, or if that works better with your schedule, just want you to know that that's an option. And now I am turning it over to you. If there are questions out there, I want to make sure they get answered. If you're a part of our DEN network, you can also join the VertCon happening October 21st. And so that you get all of these great things, here is a QR code. This QR code will give you a link to the whole presentation. So I'm going to leave that up there and take any of your questions before we go. I think we've got 4 minutes or so.
I also just want to say I put a link to the attendance as well. So make sure you're filling out that attendance form. That was put into the chat. And then there is a separate session survey basically for the conference, if you don't mind filling that out. Again, I know that's a lot of different surveys and things to fill out, but we really do appreciate the feedback.
Oh, session ID. Here we go. I'm going to grab that for you. Here it comes. Oops, sorry. I think I pushed the wrong button. Yep, I know I did. Oh, good. You're faster than me, Alyssa. Thank you. I'm fumbling around with my copy and paste here. Thank you, Lisa, for being here. If I can help in any way, please email me. And I hope to see you guys throughout the day today. I've got some other sessions happening, so it'd be great to connect later on as well. Oh, good. Alyssa, that makes my heart happy. I'm glad you enjoyed. And Mandy, thank you. Glad, Catherine, that makes me happy. Always want to be useful. Good to see you, Julie. Thank you. All right, sounds good, Juan. It'll be a good one. Thank you. Oh, presentation access. Oh, the QR code's not working, Kelly. If it's not working, you can email me and I'll send you the whole presentation. Oh, I love that, Francis. Very cool. Good for you. Well, hopefully you'll keep them very busy. Lots of stuff. Thank you, Liza.